I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. We're going to build a character in Baldur's Gate 3.
One skull, two tenants, and no solution in sight.
Alright guys, I'm going to quickly talk to you about the Dwarfs for building classes. I'm actually going to be building a Dwarf Rogue for the first series. That's going to be its own little thing, its own video. But here I'm just going to go over talk about building a Dwarf and then a Rogue. You can see there's two different types. There's Shield Dwarves and then there's Gold Dwarves. I'm going to you can see more of the benefits, the constitution and the strength of the Shield Dwarf and the wisdom and the constitution bonus of the Gold Dwarf. You can see there's a wide range of the skins. You can go from dark skins to light skins, pink to brown to almost like a charcoal black. You can zoom into the eyes and the face region so you can better get a chance to look at these things. As you can see, the range of eye colors that you have is really good too. You can rotate the thing rotate the character just like you would in many other games. It's not new technology. I like it because you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like from different angles, and if it has a certain type of whatever, you can see it from different angles. If you're wanting to do tattoos and that type of stuff, my recommendation is that you do it without facial hair and without actual hair. Go with the bald feature, because if you don't, then there could be changes, and if your character for whatever reason becomes bald or it shows it without hair, you might be a little surprised. This hairstyle here I thought looks very reminiscent to the wolf from Game of Thrones if you were to make it black. Lots of real good ones. There's another one here, I forget the name of the redhead in the Wildling, out in the glaciers and whatnot, the redhead. If you ever seen Game of Thrones, you might know the one I'm talking about. We'll get to it in a second. I'll bring it up. You know, some of these look more Roman, some of these look more like movie type haircuts, some of these look more Norse. I think that they kind of just went with a bunch of hairstyles and then applied it to, or changed the shape of it to fit different types of heads. So it could fit a dwarf head and a human head. I don't know how much variation really there is between these two. But, yep. More hairstyles, more slick backs, more whatever that's called. Whatever this is called, this slick back type thing. Sort of an English look there. Another English wavy type of hair. Here you go. Here's the one that's kind of got that wildling haircut. Like I believe that's literally like what they designed it off of when they were looking at him. I'm changing the beards. As you can see, yes, people are better looking with beards than without beards. I currently have the no shave, so I'm growing a small beard at this point in time, but normally I cannot grow a beard due to work. I ended up going with these chops and like a mustache look just because I thought it was pretty classic. I like that color brown, but I chose to go back a different direction. Here I'm just picking some colors to show some crazy assortments of like what you can do if you want to go like Aquaman, or you know, I don't know. There's that one didn't look like it was a blonde. It looked like it was more bronze, but I like that look. I ended up going back with the red just because the red is what it was on, and it's how I sort of envisioned it being put together. So here you can see I'm looking at tattoos. I'm rotating the face so you can actually see what the tattoo is, or it looks like, and where it is. That's a more Celtic type of tattoo. More Celtic type stuff. You can see how your hair kind of is like a Deadpool type of thing almost. Your facial hair and whatnot can kind of hide some of the tattoos and whatnot. So if you pick this stuff, it's almost best to go ahead and do it without the hair and then put the hair back on. That's a heavy commitment to tattoos right there. Another tattoo to the side of the neck, another one under the eye. A little dragon on the cheek. Some of these are more women, I guess you could say. I was looking for the tattoo, like, oh, there's no tattoo. That's actually what I want, so we'll go back. Now you got makeup. You can change the color of this. I'll do that a little bit just to show some variety. You don't have to really view this as makeup. You could, okay, it is makeup, or it's just a darkness around the eyes. And that's how I ended up going, because I wanted to have a little bit of a little bit more depth to the character, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I played around with this for probably longer than I should have. And you can change the opaqueness to see if you want it to be darker or lighter, a smoother transition, a darker transition. Now I'm actually going into the colors. I want to get back close again. Got like sort of a blue, and then here's like a red orange type of thing going on. Blue, not really my color, even if I was to wear makeup, and I don't foresee this character wearing makeup. But I did want to go with like something dark to make it just a little bit more or less around the eye, where you kind of like blends it all together, I guess, but makes the eyes a little darker and sunken in. I went with the blue to find the eye shade I want and the opaqueness I want, and then I changed it to a dark color. Still trying to pick my eyes here. Wasn't exactly the one I was looking for. It was close. So here he's got like a little bit of darkness around his eyes. I didn't exactly get it the way I wanted. If I kept playing with it, I probably would have got it how I wanted it specifically, but it just wasn't there yet. Now I'm going to go into the rogue section. And I'll go back to the origin so I can click on my background. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And I kind of flip through it and just let you take a look at the different skills as I'm going, and all these things. And you can see that there's, I don't know how I say it, there's a lot of the basic ones you find in D&D 5e. And your stats do play a role in this. You can actually go and change the stats. I didn't care to in this because this was just to show you how to develop a character, I guess. And I think when you click on the ability score, you'll see that it's just like everything else in this game. Now this is actually in early access, so a lot of this will change. I believe this is patch 4. I saw something saying if you want to go back to patch 3, I think that means I'm in patch 4. So there'll probably be a lot more patches before the game's actually released. But even early on, there's this portion is very nice and has a lot of really good detail. I decided to go with an Outlander because that's what everyone does. Because, well, first of all, it's just good skills, and yeah. Now, if you'll notice that I cannot click on alertness, I think, or athletics, or whatever it is, the second from the top. And that's because due to something I've picked before, either my background or my whatever, it has locked that into place. And basically it is unadjustable. But the ones that are white, I can go ahead and click off and click on. And, you know, I did the typical, I'm not really a sleight of hand type of guy. White ones are what I selected. The gold ones are the ones I can click on to make So now I will tell you from the game I've played so far, insight and perception seem to be very valuable skills as a main character. There's just a lot of things that happen in the game, especially the first time you play through, that you may not know because you fail your perception or insight test or whatever. So having those skills is not a bad idea. Alright, so I get my character the way I want him. Do one last little look, make sure there's nothing I want to do. So I go ahead and venture forth, and as you can see here, I have the option to pick a female character now or a male, and this allows me to pick who would I be, who's like my dream woman or whatever, who would I be attracted to. One of the other things that's interesting about this I didn't talk about prior to this is that the voices when you're doing this, they end up being male or female, not necessarily. It doesn't say male or female. It just says voice 1, voice 2. All the odd voices so far have been female. All the even voices have been odd, I believe, or I might have that backwards. But what's interesting about that is in other games where it would be like, oh, this is the female voice. No, now you get to judge whether this is a female's voice or a male's voice, and then go from there. So you might have male characters with female voices running through this game on purpose or by mistake, and that's kind of an interesting choice. I didn't do this with the other tattoos, but you can actually change the color of the tattoos. I ended up making her a little bit more wild than I am when I made my character, and I just hit venture forth, and now we go into the game. Anyways, if you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't. Comment below, and I will make sure I respond back to you. Thank you, and I appreciate it, and have a great day.